We've seen that. Now it's about the big guys up front. How well they can get healthy and be ready week 1 for that opening game against Green Bay. Let's be honest, that's a game the Bears are trying to change the tide. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is no longer here. It's a new direction, and we'll see if the Bears can take advantage of that.
How about that? Week 1, week 18, start and close to the season against Green Bay. Stephen Carlson held on to that one and made a nice run out of it. Gets the first down on P.J. Walker's first snap at quarterback today. He's going to close this thing out.
Much better start. Remember, he had the mesh issues in the first bootleg of last week's preseason game, and here it comes out clean. Nice, accurate throw to Carlson for a positive play. And P.J. Walker, it's a new system for him. I think he's been up and down for camp, and we'll see if he can make a good showing here to state his case as the backup.
Another end around for Webster, and he'll get about 5 on the play. Travin Howard on the stops. Here's P.J., 4th year out of Temple, originally an Indianapolis Colt. Took over for Baker Mayfield as the starter in Carolina last year. And then when Sam Darnold got healthy, Darnold closed out the year. Darnold, by the way, named number 2 quarterback behind Brock Purdy in San Francisco, and Trey Lance traded yesterday to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, PJ has a much bigger arm than I think anybody knows. He had some really good go routes last year for Carolina that were difference makers for them, and he let some go in training camp when I was there. Much stronger arm than even I anticipated coming from him.
There's Travis Homer. Well, one of those big throws, we saw it against Atlanta last year to DJ Moore. That was, again, people remember DJ got really excited, took his helmet off, the penalty was called, forced a longer
up for grabs, and he settled the ship, so to speak, when they were having the injuries at quarterback.
Yep. On a 3rd down and 3, lined against the 46. Walker, there's that arm trying to show it up. Wow, that would have been an incredible play by Isaiah Ford, who was looking for a flag. He elevated pretty impressively with that left arm reaching high against the rookie Alex Austin.
It's a good spot for the football, and like you said, I think Ford was just, I think he felt he got restricted with his right arm.
Yep. He almost snatched it with one hand.
And, I think, again, that's a good ball placement by P.J. Walker. And again, for your backup quarterback, that's what if he has to get in the game, he has to be able to do that, settle the waters. And that's what P.J. Walker did for Carolina. He settled the waters, kept him in the hunt for the division. I think that's all you can ask your backup to do.
Andy Isabella, nice cutbacks, and then eventually the Bears unit gets to him. Jalen Johnson is down on the field, and this interview with the excellent corner for the Bears is brought to us by Advocate Healthcare. So, JJ, we appreciate the time as always, man. We saw you pawing at the ball earlier, trying to get one of those takeaways. You talked about how you wanted to improve your takeaway numbers. Your coverage numbers have been great, but you wanted to get a few more takeaways. What's, for those who don't understand the day-to-day grind of trying to get better at a very specific thing for your position, how do you improve on those things over the course of training camp, preseason, and into the season?
I think it just starts with your mind. Honestly, just being intentional, making it a point of emphasis. That's what I try to do each and every day. I try to catch jugs every day after practice, deep balls, low balls, anything that I can do to try to improve my ball skills, and then just making a conscious effort to strip at the ball. Just trying to find ways to impact the game, because, sometimes covering out there can be good, but if you don't get any targets, you don't really find your way impacting the game too much. So, I'm just trying to find as many different ways as I can to impact the game.
Jalen, Jim Miller here. Good to talk to you again. And I think you can tell the difference with the pass rush.
Yes,
with
sir.
The players added, obviously the 8 sacks week 1 in preseason, the last week with Terrell Lewis stripping the ball. What have you noticed? Because certainly the front 7 can help the back 4, but you guys as a back 4 can certainly give them a little extra time to get to the quarterback.
100%. And that's one of our point of emphasis as a defense, to be able to rush the passer. And it's not just the front 4 guys, it takes the secondary as well. It takes the linebackers, just giving them time to get back there. But we definitely have added a lot more talent, a lot of guys that have done it at a high level with Yannick and just things like that. So, just being able to go out there and execute on the back end at a high level to give those guys time to get back there, and even those guys speeding up the pass a little bit as well and giving us opportunities to create turnovers on the back end.
How do you feel about continuity of coming together as a unit? Like today, obviously DeMarcus Walker didn't play because during preseason and during camp at points you guys haven't been there as an entire unit, so to speak, but yet there's still camaraderie going on. That gelling is always happening behind the scenes.
Oh, 100%. That's the only thing we can do. We don't have a lot of guys that are healthy right now. So, just still being able to be a tight-knit group off the field and being able to watch film together, talk about different things that we want to do. I mean, we take a lot of mental reps. We do a lot of walkthroughs, and those guys get in there and get those reps. So we're not too unfamiliar with each other. We definitely have that camaraderie. We have that closeness, and we're just going to continue that throughout the season.
Is it weird to start to become a little bit of a veteran now? This is year 4 now for you. I mean, you've always been the young cat on this team, and now all of a sudden you're kind of looking at all these younger guys around you and maybe giving some wisdom. How have you noticed that change for yourself, and what have you noticed from the younger guys?
I mean, for me, I feel like I became a vet my second year after Kyle Fuller left. So it happened pretty quick. It happened pretty quick for me. But, I mean, I'm just embracing it, loving it. And this is the first rookie class that came in. There are some rookies younger than me. With the COVID year and all that, I still found my way being younger than a lot of guys. So, I mean, it's been a unique situation, but I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it, being able to go out here and just learn with the guys, grow, and just help the younger guys that's coming in. I don't have too much time under their belt to be able to play this game at a high level. And, I mean, they know that they're going to get a lot of action this year, especially at corner. So just trying to prepare those guys for that and just ultimately make this team a lot better.
Well, I would love to see a couple of the one-on-ones up there with you and DJ Moore. I got to believe he's great, obviously, to go against Tyreek Stevenson and Terrell Smith, young corners, and just talk about what his addition means to this team.
I mean, it just brings competitive nature out, especially me being a cornerback. I mean, I used to enjoy going against him when he was with the Panthers, so now that he's on my same team, that same competitive isn't going to leave me, and I know he's a competitor as well. So we definitely try to go at it, push each other, and it's good for the young guys, too, to go against a high-level receiver like him because, I mean, we're going to play a lot of those guys throughout this season. So he brings the competitive advantage for us to be able to go out here on Sundays and play fast and know that we compete against a high-level guy each and every day.
Well, speaking of which, you're 2 weeks away.
Yes,
kind of give the fans a sense of what these next 2 weeks are like for you. Is it nervous energy? How much prep is involved? How do you start that process going into Green Bay?
I mean, for me personally, I've been watching film on Green Bay for a few weeks now.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I've started early, and I know a lot of guys, a lot of the older guys, we started early on it. But just really just kind of resetting after this camp. It's been a long camp. We got to get guys healthy. So being able to get our bodies back right, kind of reset our mind, and then just really go full-fledged in it for this next 17, 18 weeks, and then carry that on to the playoffs. So, I mean, we know what we have to do. We know that it's going to take a lot. So just continue to keep our head down and keep grinding.
Man, really appreciate the time. It's been great getting some insight from you, and really look forward to this season, man.
Thank
you so much,
guys have a good one.
Yes, sir. Really appreciate the time from Jalen Johnson. Fourth-year man. Now a lot of experience. 39 starts and 31 passes defensed.
Improved pass rush. They have had a lot up front, and that is definitely going to help the back four.
4th and 2 for Walker on the slant, incomplete, looking for Webster. No flag on the play, so it will be a turnover on downs. A concern and hopefully something that improves in the next 2 weeks.
That is really the key. I mean, how serious is the injury to Darnell Wright? You know, will you have to, will Bourne be ready to step in and play the right tackle spot? And I would think also for Tevin Jenkins. Nice throw and catch.
Carlson holds on again. Walker on the move. That arm strength shown off in a good way there.
And I'm not so concerned about the left side of the line because that's initially how it started last year. You had Braxton Jones, Cody
Whitehair, yep.
Cody at left guard, and then you had Lucas Patrick at centers. But so it's really about, it's going to be about Nate Davis. Nice throw.
Robert Burns walks in for the touchdown. P.J. Walker gets him in there.
2 back-to-back accurate throws, one up the seam and then into the flat to the fullback. Quick decision. Nice little arm angle, too, to get it between the 2 defenders.
It's got to feel good for Robert Burns. Remember, he had a fumble last week. He was able to get into the end zone here for the touchdown. They'll have the 2-point team out there try to go through this process. And I think in a regular season game, you would probably go for 2 anyway to try to make it a field goal game at the 2-minute mark. Give it to Burns. Oh, a little somersault home for the 2-pointer. Not a 3-point game here at the 2-minute warning of the 4th quarter.
Nice burst and juice. Look at, he's excited, man.
Little acrobatics as well from Robert Burns.
I thought he ran hard last week.
Agreed. Wanted to make up for the fumble, and he gets the touchdown and the 2 at the 2-minute mark.